like to, when they're out on the landscape, think about how it was used in the past. Haycamp Mesa is located about 20 miles northeast of Dolores, Colorado, and it's a part of the San Juan National Forest where there's been a long history of grazing, sheep herding, cattle ranching, as well as transportation networks. A lot of the sheep herding history is not something that's written down. It's written down on these aspen trees.
You see aspen glyphs being left in comment to other aspen glyphs. So kind of like a message board in the forest, depictions of animals, depictions of people, messages to others in the area.
They're sometimes lightly carved and scratched so it looks more like a thin line. Other times they're deeply gouged. Some of the earlier ones tend to be in cursive. We're seeing elaborate art. It's kind of putting the person into the landscape. This project was started with a landscape scale survey as part of an aspen vegetation management. The partnership is between the Forest Service and Woods Canyon Archaeological Consultants because the Forest Service contracted with Woods Canyon to do this landscape scale survey across this area.
There's evidence of camping along the stock driveways or camping along the wagon roads.
As Woods Canyon got into the project and was documenting all of these resources, we really realized that something more was going on here.
The history touches on all of the key economic drivers of this part of the state. Our work is the preservation. It's the documentation, the historic research, and archiving that history. There really is no other way to preserve it because of the nature of aspens.
78 sites, 1,300 arbor glyphs in this landscape. Our earliest one on this project is 1901. We also have some 1903. But that's also at the outer edge of the lifespan of aspen.
Those aspen trees only have a certain lifespan, a century maybe, plus or minus a couple decades. And so those trees won't always be there.
History Colorado, the San Juan National Forest and Woods Canyon worked together to make sure that we got the right designation. Historic cultural landscapes are when you take all of those pieces, sites and isolated finds, and how do they fit into this larger landscape. This part of southwest Colorado is often recognized for its prehistoric resources because there's so many of them and they're so important. And so it's nice that this project, for historic sheep herding and transportation networks and supporting the mining industry could be recognized too. That story and how the West changed is really important because it adds historical depth and understanding of what this area means for people today and also in the past.